Nice little second. All right. Whenever you're ready. Action.
Nah, you gotta start. What the fuck?
God.
You gotta do the intro, and I just say hello. You just told me to say hello.
No, you're the one that's supposed to do the intro. All right. What it do, baby? Pre-llama show episode 2. We got Ugly Boy Rob, Roman 2 Raw. How you guys doing?
What it do?
Yo, what's going on?
Not much, man. I just woke up. I just fucking woke up, dude. I knew this was gonna happen. Gabe called it earlier.
I told you. Try to tell this man.
Oh man, I was having fun on the games though. I had some good morning grind.
But those were pretty good games. And we hit it off with the 1v1. I had the riot shield and the RPG on this, going crazy on this boy.
He wasn't going crazy, dude.
I was going crazy.
He stopped going crazy after a while. He started.
No, and then I pulled out the blicky. I pulled out the Glock with a switch on it with the 50 drum Mickey Mouse.
Bro, the final kill of the game was me shooting his body and then looking at him and shooting him in the head.
Yeah, I was hitting him with the fucking I had the riot shield, and then I would just switch over and just throwing knife him right into his jaw. But he forgets about that. That was earlier on in the game. Like he just wrote it off as, oh, you had a little minute, but that little minute was a little minute.
Mexican Vanilla's in the chat already.
Yeah.
What they do? All right, man. But
LOML.
It's been a week since the last episode. How'd you feel about it? The reception of it?
I like it. I mean, so far I've only heard like great things, and like Llamas hit me. Big Poppy, he's been stopping in lately. You know, he's been peeping. But 51 views last I checked. Not too bad, in my opinion, for a
like
first
70
start.
Overall, because we had like 20 on the actual stream itself. Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, it was dope because last couple of weeks we had we had on the Blackout channel itself. Obviously, you can watch the Pre-llama show and the late night with AD and Jay Birdie on Blackout GG YouTube. Check it out. But posting those 3 videos the last couple of weeks, and you've seen like the little growth of it. Plus, like older videos are like starting to pick up a little steam because of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty dope, man. It was a good feeling just throughout the week, like watching the numbers go up. And obviously, like in terms of like the late night or this, I was kind of leaning towards the late night having more views just in general. But like when I saw the Pre-llama show, like it was like 40 views in like a day or some shit. I was like, or like 30 in a day. I was like, damn, like that was kind of surprising, honestly. Obviously, I know.
But I see it more as a win-win situation because one hand's gonna wash the other. So
I'm not saying
if this week, you know what I'm saying, it was my video that kind of got more attention, but still it's bringing more attention to the channel overall. So y'all's late night is just gonna feed off of that and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. But I was just thinking in my head, like the late night would probably do more. The Pre-llama would just be like, because I mean, we always think about the Pre-llama as like just what we do Sunday, but we don't really like put any stock in like the views or nothing. We just know like we're gonna stream until the llama show and then whatever. But
I don't think so. I've always seen the Pre-llama show from what it came from to what it is now. Like the Pre-llama show is a joke. It was a joke. It was literally a joke in the chat, and it just something that stuck. And now we're actually making it into an actual podcast, what we've been talking about doing for a long time. Yeah. Pretty much what we've been doing this whole time, just in a different way.
Yeah. I thought the conversation was good last week though.
Yeah.
Like overall, I mean, obviously it shows in the views, but like just the conversation was good. The flow was good. And after like I posted it, like I was excited last week when we did it, but after I posted it, I was like, yeah, the Pre-llama show is definitely going to be something like I want to put more attention to. And that's why I had, obviously you can see on the video itself, we got a new logo down there, a little bit more improved logo than what we had for the thumbnail, because the thumbnail was like the actual drop of the picture. And then we got like a new blackout logo for it. So like put a little, well, I mean, obviously shout out Big Poppy Andrew because he's the one who made it. But I put out
shout out to that kid.
I hit him up. I was like, yo, can you make something that kind of looks like the llama show, but for the Pre-llama show? And then he sent that. I honestly was just trying to have him recreate like llama's logo and shit. and just put our faces. Well, my face. I didn't even know he was gonna put your face on it. To be honest.
Yeah, and what he did, like he took a picture of my Instagram, and I didn't even like at first just off the logo, I didn't even know where that picture was from.
Yeah.
Like that's how much work he like put into that. To where I was like, what the hell is that? And then when he sent me the original picture, I was like, damn. But definitely that even throughout what he's done with the llama show, like the overlays, the intros, like it's a whole nother level now.
But everything else.
But you know what I mean? Like I feel like he kind of sparked Llama to do more of that because Llama really used to like let intros ride for a good minute before he came out with another one.
Yeah.
And then when Big Poppy came along, I mean, it's usually like every month now, like clockwork. He has something new.
Yeah, you're trying something, but he's just a creative kid. You can tell. And it worked. And he's working on it.
Young.
You know what I mean? Like the thing is, like he pumped. I asked him, and within like, now obviously I don't know what he's doing during the day and shit, but within like the hour, he pumped out the thing I used for the thumbnail, and it was like, "Yo, I gotta go to work, but I'll finish this when I come home." And then as soon as he got home, he like, "Yo, here it is, boom, sent it." But damn,
yeah, delivered, son.
So we gotta say shout out to Big Poppy Angie. Overall, Pre-llama show it's definitely got my attention. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, yeah, let's fucking make this shit big because clearly we got something. I mean, obviously we know within Blackout we can create content, but again,
I feel like
really
these last the 2 episodes of the late night and the now 2 episodes of the Pre-llama, like it sparked a flame, like no corny shit, but no. Yeah, like shit's been a lot more active as of lately.
Yeah,
I like it.
Like I had conversations about Blackout with Hen Dog. You know what I mean? Like he wants to. Obviously, he's more like a business kind of guy, and he doesn't care about. That's gonna be
like the fucking CEO, president, like vice president. You know what I'm saying, on some shit that like he never comes in.
Director of operations.
He always has a killer pair of fucking shades, and he fucking drives a car from the '60s, mint condition.
By here, take my keys.
Yeah, he's the one that's gonna get us the brand deals and shit. But it was a long conversation, and it was a conversation where he was like, "Bro, like, I want to do it." He's like, "If you're down, I'm down, but I want to do it seriously." And he even said like he wants to have like a weekly discussion about like actual business as opposed to. I mean, we don't even talk about content as much as we can talk about content, but just adding like the element of talking about business, well, I think will get all of us thinking a little bit differently about the content. Like, how are we going to make money off the content? How are we going to get more eyes to get money for us? You know, I got to say shout out Dragon Queen. She threw ADs in the chat earlier.
Ooh, shout out.
When it comes to, and then Birdie, like Birds, how you say, like, that guy's more motivated in a lot of aspects. Like, hitting me up yesterday where he was telling me like, yo, we should do this, video ideas, and not just for the late night, but just video ideas we can do on the side, you know what I mean? Which I think is what me and him are talking about. I think we definitely need to start making like smaller, like, you know, like more centered videos, not necessarily podcasts, but just videos about different things. And that will get more eyes on something like the Pre-llama show and the late night, because those will be weekly staples for the Blackout channel now. But those little pieces of content will get more eyes. I mean, when you see Llama drops a video that does well, all his videos eat. So it's kind of the same concept. I mean, now that we got a couple things to post on the channel, I think it will get us to the point where we're like, yo, let's make a hip hop tier list or some dumb shit, you know? But
yeah. A lot of great ideas.
Yeah. We got Ugly Boy Rob. He wasn't showing his face last week, but he was there. He was there last week as well. What's up, man? How you like the grind? How you like the content grind?
No. First things first. Happy Father's Day.
Oh yeah, Father's Day.
To this boy, Ugly Boy Rob. Happy Father's Day. Big Llama.
Big Llama.
You know what I mean? Drama. Happy Father's Day, Herc.
Shout out Herc.
Big homie. All the guys. Yes, all the guys. Me and AD are like the only 2 left. And Jimmy.
Nah,
Yeah,
That's a
it's like a
solid-
50 50.
that's a
Now it's
solid
looking
four.
like 50 50. Yeah.
That's a solid
I
four.
like that. I like that. That's crazy. Shout out to the guys. Shout out to the guys. L, happy Father's Day. Pablo, all the guys.
Pablito. Damn, we got roll deep with some fathers. Jesus Christ. We gotta take my medicine.
We don't die, we multiply.
The generation of blackouts bright, you heard?
Very much so, right?
But I do want to
That's
ask. I do
good.
want to ask you that and get your side of things, because not that you're new. You're definitely newer when it comes to like us like gaming and shit. Because the last couple months you've been solid every weekend gaming with us.
I've always wanted to be consistent all around that aspect of streaming and stuff like that, because I was doing that before back on Apex, but PC didn't really meet the requirements. But now I'm back, I'm locked and loaded, I got everything I need, so why not stream? Even if I don't feel like streaming, if I'm gonna play, I'm gonna stream, might as well.
Yeah.
I like the grind, and I love what you guys are doing. The consistency is getting there. Is getting there. Like you just said, this will be the 4th episode you put out within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's consistent, and then that's on top of streaming 2 other things as well, your gaming and the llama show. So I think I respect a lot of the consistency that you guys got, and that's why I'm here with y'all. I'm consistent as well.
Oh yeah. Well, we're happy to have you. Obviously, in the game, content. You're bringing something, but in the gameplay, this guy comes out and shoots. You know what I mean? This guy's a shooter, a young shooter.
This guy sweats, bro. This guy
He
sweats.
sweats for real.
And
Clammy as we speak.
My boy got his fucking G Fuel right next to him, ready to go. Nah, but yeah, I definitely think our last couple content pieces have put a spark in. That was a perfect way to say it, because everybody's talking about different ideas. Even Herc, I mean, obviously Herc's always busy and shit, but even he's like hitting me up and like, yo, I see you guys. You know what I mean? Like, keep it going. So let's keep it up, man.
And a little side note, not to toot my own horn, but that's another one I recruited. Another one of my recruits right there. Another one that I brought to the corral.
12 kills in the hard point ain't really helping, dude. You gotta do something to provide for our content.
No, I'm talking about Robert
That's
to
what
Blackout. Like,
that's what I'm
he was on
saying.
Apex until I got a hold of this guy.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, come on over here. Come on over here. I want to show you to these guys over here.
I want to bring you to these.
You know what I'm saying?
These guys will treat you well over here.
there was a lot of doubt, though.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert was the one man left. But you gotta switch over, bro. You gotta switch over.
Oh, absolutely. I cannot. It's just I got a goal. I got a goal on Call of Duty. I want to get as far in COD as I got in Apex.
Which,
Masters, whatever's right before 250, that's where I was in Apex.
yo,
So I just
turn your volume up a tiny bit.
Gotcha. That better?
Yeah, it's way better, way better. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I like the grinding aspect.
Yeah.
Like, I knew rank coming into Call of Duty was going to be a lot different. And y'all seen, like, my numbers in search weren't like that at first. Search was really something I kind of despised. But even now, like, I feel like I do a lot better. I've learned to, like, kind of tone it down, not be too aggressive, not overextend too far.
Yeah, but
I'm building it.
You're also just a smart player in general. Like, you think about the
Thank
game
you.
in a smart way. Because, all right, well, it changed my perspective when I started watching Pro COD of like how to play the like Call of Duty. Like, obviously, there's days we're just fucking off and like we're beating teams 250 to 30, but we're just running around. There's no structure to it. But when you look at COD and like how it can be played, like we were talking about this earlier when we were playing. You said, because you brought up the search earlier, like the point about, oh, I wasn't as good when I first started, but now I'm good at it. You know what I mean? But that's because one, you learn the game. We're playing every day, damn near. So you learn how people play. You know what I mean? And again, that goes to the smarts, because sometimes, like especially early on, Gabe never thought about the game. Like he would just play. You know what I mean? He would just get on, run that shit. You know what I mean? Like we're just having fun. But even he's like, you can see like everybody, especially with rank. Even Llama too. Even though he's really, you know, he understands he needs to do something. Sometimes he doesn't make the right play. But for me, watching COD and seeing like there was a different way to play, I wanted to implement that, because to me it's just more interesting if we play search. Very strategic, you know what I mean? Because now it's a different game than if you just like trying to kill the lives. You know what I mean? Like play TDM until the
Oh,
lives
I
out.
agree, and I'm like the main one to advocate for that. I constantly am the one like I'll send like the play we just did this morning
Yeah, it
where
was good.
where I dove and you chowed that. That was perfect. We executed that perfectly,
Yeah,
and that's just something I saw from one of the pros. I like to try to implement a lot of that
yeah,
style in my game because I feel like, especially with my movement, like I feel like my movement is a lot more advanced now than it was when I first started.
yeah,
But that's just because I put in the effort to learn these things, how to jump out the water, certain jump spots you can get to,
yeah,
just to confuse people. I'm typically like that guy that's catching somebody off balance. Somebody doesn't know I'm there,
yeah.
and
That's
that's how
it.
I kind of
I'm
like it to be.
excited. Like, I mean, it seems like the last couple COD titles, Blackout has grown in terms of like how many people we can game with. But like, it's always like or at least for me, like I'm excited for the next game because I know what it's like when a new game drops and we're all like hungry to like straight like yo, we're on it. You know what I mean? Like Bird, when Modern Warfare 2 dropped, Bird literally didn't sleep for the first 3 days. He was literally like going to work, getting on the game until late night. I was on the like I would sleep for like a couple hours because I called off like the first 2 days it was out. I was like, yo, we're going hard. So I can only imagine like having someone like you. And the thing is, we also need COD to give us ranked early on because I think rank gives us like incentive to play a little bit more than just like getting on. Obviously, when early on in the game we're trying to get gold guns and shit like that, but that gets stale when you do it for fucking a month and a half straight. You know, I think rank really doesn't get stale just because every situation, every game is different. Sometimes we actually are on our bullshit where we're trying and like trying to compete. Sometimes we're getting our shit touched because lobbies just be hard sometimes, but I also want to. I don't know. I feel like sometimes we need to expand in other games too, though.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know
was
what you
just
guys
what I'll
think.
get to that.
I saw you were
Yeah,
playing 2K.
we gotta definitely get you on 2K, bro. Because Robert, I already know he's solidified in 2K. Jimmy isn't too bad, but if we get a nice little squad on NBA 2K, the next one, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, like they keep talking about it, but it's nothing that I've heard to
100%.
like for sure. But like if they do finally make it crossplay, it's wraps, bro. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm planning on getting a PC, so we'd still be able to play. Just Jimmy would have to get a PC, and I'm sure that guy has plenty of money, so he'll go and buy one too.
Yeah. I mean,
And
for
I've been
him,
watching some of the I've been watching like some of the clips and highlights and shit from the professional
oh, that
NBA
shit's
2K
fire,
league,
bro.
like COD League, bro. They go, yo, son told he the one niggas beat the other team, bro. He's like, nigga, he's a bum, he's a bum.
Yeah,
I'm like crazy.
yeah. That's hilarious. Now, I
It gets fucking gritty on 2K.
I just think esports in general, like it brings an excitement to games. Like when I find out about an esport for a game that I'm interested in, it's usually that. So like 2K, I was like, there was a point where I was just like trying to play 2K a little bit because I found the 2K league and I was like, yo, that shit's kind of fire. And like you said, like they're sitting the way the stage is set up, they're like right next to each other. So they're like
Yeah,
literally talking shit across the stage, like, yo, you're bum, like you garbage. Like
and this is like basketball too. So you have a whole nother realm of
but
like
yeah.
shit talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I put my nuts on your head. Like, bro, the NBA 2K animations are crazy,
It's
crazy. They have
fire.
certain
It's
animations
fire.
that your player just once your player gets stuck in the animation, he doesn't move. So a nigga could just come up and wham on you like on some crazy shit and do some whole other
And
next
there's
level
nothing
shit.
you can do about it. Nothing at all you can do
You're
about it.
forever on his clip.
But to touch on the part about like the competitive side of it, like the league and stuff like that. I used to try to like we would try to make the league because like I think back in like 2K18, that's when I actually had a full rec team,
Mhm.
and it was like you had to like grind to make your way up there, like, and they would select you as a team to come and do it, and we were pretty good, but it's tough. Like you got to kind of have your own plays, your own playbook, and run things a certain way. You can't just like hop in and just think dribbling is going to take you, or throwing some lobs here and there is going to
Yeah.
take you to a W, because those blowouts, and when you get like higher up in rank, them blowouts are serious if
No.
the guys know what they're doing. playing full court defense.
With
everything.
any game, yeah, like with any game, like these guys are like people that are trying to take it to that next level are putting in. We're putting in a lot of hours, and we're like quote unquote casual players. Like in the eyes of competitive players, we don't make any money off of it. We don't, you know what I mean? We're just playing games casually, you know. But obviously, we're a little bit more competitive. But look at how hard we go. Now imagine it's people with a purpose every day getting on for 8 hours. Like, yo, we need to practice our search strats today. You know what I mean? Like, yo, when you get to this point, you nade here. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna double nade this every time or whatever. Like, have different plays, like you said. And that's one thing we lack when it comes to like certain things in COD. But again, not everybody knew what the fuck pro COD or like competitive COD was like. And the same thing with like 2K. Like once you kind of find it out, it like opens another thing in your head. Like, oh, I could take this game to another level. I don't know. That's at least how I look at it, and that's how I want to play my games personally. Because like it's just a different. I mean, I'm a competitive person by nature, so like anything competitive, I want to get into and like.
Super competitive.
No, yeah, 100%. But like 2K is
But I feel
definitely
like
a game
that's why you won't.
interesting.
That's why you. I feel like you won't get on like GTA because it's not really
It's fun.
competitive.
Like, bored me
It's
after a
more
while.
fun than. But playing that with friends is crazy
No,
because
like-
on PS3 I played, and especially now that we're adulting and we got money, and you could just like literally put $20, $40, nigga, and you're stupid rich on the game. You
Or you do
like
a handoff
you got all
that
these
do
little.
all the glitches.
The crazy part is you got all these little 12-year-olds that like maybe only put like $20 or $40 in the game a year, like from like Christmas or whatever the hell, and they really grind this game and unlock all this shit, and you can just buy it in one sitting. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
Nah, definitely
$40,
GTA
that's a
is
3.5.
content. GTA is 100% content. Because we had like a little stint where we were playing, and it was like me, Herc, Big Homie, and probably Hendog, us four, and we like streamed and recorded the gameplay, and just off of that, like I did no camera, all that, and was just like acting like I was a character. That shit was fun, but again, like to me, it would have to be controlled because I can't just play that every day. To be honest, I just like it's.
But sometimes it's good every once in a while to put it in rotation so that it's not always the same shit over and over again.
No, 100%.
Like 2K, you got Madden. Even that's why I played MLB with y'all, just to like, you know what I'm saying, get out of that same rotation of COD, because that shit gets old after a while.
Yeah. I mean, not for me, dude. I'm trying to get to plat, dude. I touched plat a little bit, and ever since I've been down, I'm trying to get back. But I'm definitely excited for like games like Mortal Kombat in the future. Mortal Kombat, what's the shit that Multiverses? Me and Jimmy were nice at.
Oh my god,
when that game comes back, when that game comes back, it's gonna be fire. But again, it's just expanding what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like we're gaming every day. It's just finding other games that we can all get on together. Because that's another thing. We're all on different shit. That's the only thing that sucks. Like if we're all on PC or all on Xbox or all on PS5, whatever, you know what I mean?
But I also told you I would go half with you on an Xbox X. You know what I'm saying? So we could still do that. That's what I'm saying, bro.
We'll see.
So there's this game. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about like getting into like scary kind of games.
Yeah,
like horror games.
They started doing that.
They've got this one called Phasmophobia. It's a 4-player online co-op, and it's psychological horror.
Yeah. What'd you call it? My old roommate. She would like stream with us. Remember Miss Dysfunction? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Miss Dysfunction. Shout out, Miss Dysfunction.
Shout out, Miss Dysfunction.
Oh, geez, no.
She definitely she was playing that and streaming that shit, and I think that's what got Herc's attention when it came to shit. And we played, me and him and Llama played Mortuary's Assistant, and there's a video on that. That shit was fun, but again, like it's just us doing it, like actually like sitting down, like yo, let's play this game today, like you know what I mean, like let's make it fun, because those kind of games bring a different kind of like content, like comedy wise. You know what I mean? I'm a little bitch when it comes to getting scared, like scary shit. I'm like, oh my god, like, yo, chill. And I'm high as fuck too, so I like zone out, like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
I'm not gonna lie. Every once in a while, those videos on Facebook where it's like there's one like a kid hitting a baseball and the the baseball bounce backs towards your screen, or like the spider will come out of nowhere or whatever. Like sometimes if I'm high enough, they still get me. Or I like jump.
Yeah, it'd be like just a field in the background, and then like somebody jump up like, oh shit! I turn my.
It'll be like
off.
that on Search. When you be on Search and Destroy, and that random dude just comes out of nowhere.
I don't know. You're like, fuck, dude.
Even worse, when you're when one of your teammates comes out of nowhere and you just got done frying like 2 people real quick and you on a hair trigger.
Yeah, you throw 2 bullets in your teammate, that's 1 shot in the corner.
Yo, or like AD for example. Your homeboy end up being 1 shot.
Boop, boop. I was like, nah, bro. I was on streaks too, I'm pretty sure. Or at least close. This guy gives me 2. And then you stopped shooting. It wasn't even like you kept shooting. So I was like, he did that shit on purpose, bro. He didn't think I was a bad guy. He just shot me, dude.
No, but you had shot me or something like that. You had did something like earlier on in the game. I was like, all right, bet. That's a fact. I waited and waited, and then I seen you just sitting there in the corner reloading your gun. I'm thinking you straight. I just tapped it. Just tapped it. And he died. I was like, my bad.
My bad, playboy. God damn, I didn't even realize. So today's gonna be a little shorter episode because obviously I'm not on the Big Llama show tonight, but definitely go check it out, 10 p.m. Eastern. I don't know.
It's gonna be
I have no clue who's gonna be on.
I'll tell you right now. It's gonna be a Father's Day episode with Big Llama, with
Big Papi Angie,
Junior Llama, and Little Llama.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You know that for a fact?
I know that for a fact. Inside source.
He didn't tell me that. I asked him. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I haven't even thought about it." And then I said,
"You heard it here first. You heard it here first on the Pre-llama."
Yo, Llama's really trying to get me out of here, dude.
Nah, it's none of that. It's none of that. Llama's
trying to start up that podcast on Sunday.
I'm telling you, dude. Same time, dude.
Petty.
8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You heard me? But so today's gonna be a shorter episode because I got a concert to go to. Long story short, I didn't realize.
I really want to get into those 2 topics though. Like, so we should.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, it's already 27 minutes. I didn't realize. I thought we were talking for like 10 minutes.
We're gonna speed go through them. It's not that much anyways.
We're good. We're chilling. But right. Where you want to start?
Let's go UFC. Let's go UFC, and we'll finish off with sports.
All right. I mean, UFC is a sport, dude.
All right. You know what I mean.
Nonetheless.
All right. So to get it in order.
Let's go, Rob. Rob's taking the lead.
We can go ahead and start. We can go ahead and start with Strickland versus Magomedov. I feel like those are 2 pretty known guys. It's not going to be a super crazy fight, but it's going to be a lot of standing bang in that. Yeah, it's going to be banging.
Strickland, just off a gut, but he might get out wrestled. I'm gonna be honest.
I haven't seen Strickland fight, but I think I've seen the other dude fight.
You did, right. I think you've seen both of them fight, but Strickland.
So to give a gist on it, just to give you an idea, we got Abus Magomedov. He's 25-4-1. Strickland is 26-5. 1 inch height difference is Magomedov. He's 6'2" versus 6'1". Big weight difference, 204 for Strickland. We got 186 for Magomedov. Same age, same damn near same reach, same stance. The biggest thing I see is the strike accuracy. We've got 100% for Magomedov strike accuracy, significant strikes.
Jesus
versus
Christ.
43.20 for Strickland, which is a little scary for me.
100%.
100%. This is ESPN.
Oh my god, that guy beats people up.
Yeah.
Magomedov's takedown accuracy is nothing, and average is nothing to Strickland's 64. So that's a benefit for Strickland.
So I have a question because I'm sure you guys are more updated on this.
Yeah.
So what is going on with the John Jones fight?
You're just gonna forget everything he said and just give over to John?
No. I'm sorry. This is just something that's been really bothering me lately.
Nobody knows, though, to tell you. Nobody really knows.
It's up in the air.
Yeah, literally everybody's like, they should have signed the fight already. It should be announced already because everybody said it was gonna be Stipe, but it seems like something behind the scenes is going on. And I have heard a lot. Now I've heard a lot of talks. I don't know how true this is, but I have heard that they are trying to do like a hybrid fight with Tyson Fury and John Jones in the UFC. I've heard that a couple times.
My theory is John Jones got everybody shook.
Nah,
I think he's got everybody shook.
no, bro. There's young kid. Tom Aspinall, he got hurt, but he's a guy from the UK. Very skilled, all aspects. I'm talking about very skilled. Has power, obviously heavyweight power. Good on the ground, good cardio. He just looks like a complete fighter. And he's young. He's like 26, 27, like coming up. You know what I mean? But he got hurt recently. And if he didn't get hurt, we would have been hearing about him because when he got hurt, he was fighting I believe Curtis Blades.
Oh wow.
But he got hurt in the first round. I believe it was Curtis Blades because it was a main event and it was in London and he was the A side and Curtis Blades been here. He was fighting like somebody that's established already, and I'm pretty sure it was him. But he got hurt, so there's him. Then you obviously got Pavlovich, who's been fucking finishing everybody in the past couple months. Like last 2-3 fights, just solid finishes. He looks really good. Obviously, John has the wrestling over him. And then Stipe is considered the greatest of all time in the heavyweight division. Like he ain't scared of him, bro. You know, obviously John already dismantled.
It's contractual. You know it's contractual. That's all it ever is. And I feel like if they are going to continue to push this back more and more, John should get in there and fight somebody else at least.
Yeah,
because
he's saying
he didn't do enough in that first fight. That first fight, he did not give us enough.
I mean, he proved to us great.
He did what we knew he could do.
Yeah.
But if we're going to compare him to light heavyweight, you know what I'm saying? There's definitely room. There's definitely a big sense of urgency there to see what he has in his tank. Because he said he's got all this and he said there's no ring rust. But I believe there was evident ring rust in that fight. Yeah. And I still had him winning exactly when he did. But it was just, you could see the ring rust.
Nah, he definitely
looked slower. He didn't feel as fast as he was saying. And he definitely looked strong.
So I watched it back this week, actually. And I do, obviously, when the initial fight, I was saying he looked slower. This time, I was kind of looking at it. Maybe he jumped for the guillotine and like taking him down early because he was that much slower. And he was like, oh shit, like it kind of hit him like in the moment, like this guy's fast. And like, I know I can finish him right now. Let me end it. You know what I mean? As opposed to like, let me try to see what can happen. Because again, heavyweight power is different power than any other way. Obviously, light heavyweight, you're not far off. But even then, like they said Daniel Cormier's power from light heavyweight to heavyweight were two different things. You know what I mean? Like when he was a heavyweight, he starches people. When he's a light heavyweight, he like hurts them, but he's not putting them out. There's like a significant difference in like that power. So I don't think John wants to take too many heavyweight shots, to be honest. But
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Uh-huh.
But from the flip side of it, I would say him trying to put him out earlier would kind of just be a smarter thing to do, because that fight wasn't in my opinion, wouldn't be as significant as what's to come, if that makes sense. Like that fight was just to prove that even after all this time, you know, that he's been away, that he came back strong, put him out early, and just get the fight over with. So leading up to the next fight that's supposed to be more solidify, that would be the one you really want to go the distance and shit like that with, just to make even more of a point. I think that last fight was it gone, right?
Yeah.
That fight be just more of something him handling business. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
You can refer to it as a tune-up. You really can, but I just feel like there's a couple things that I pulled from the fight. I feel like he may have only did that submission because he knew that was wide open the whole time. He read it from the beginning and from the film, because we know John to be that guy who's calculated that much to where he knows everything you're gonna do in the fight. Or he could have felt like he was beneath him, you know, like when the fighters feel like their legs aren't there. That could have been what he was feeling because he hadn't been there for so long. So like I feel like why would I stand and bang with this cat that I know has power
And
when
not
I can
even
put him out early?
with Gon, it's not even just power. He's slick. You know what I mean? He's good. He's nasty. And if Gon would have, that's the thing. Gon wasn't fighting himself either. Out of all the fights I watched Gon in, that was clearly the worst version of himself. You know what I mean? Like he could have put up a better fight than he did. Now, granted, when he fought Francis, again, another big moment. So I don't know. Like it could be like when Gon gets in these moments, maybe he shies away from it. But I mean, he won the belt too, so like maybe not because he had a flawless victory when he won the interim belt. But I feel like if Gon would have came out a little bit better, right? And like that's the thing, we don't know because the fight went how it went, right? And that's what me and Bird were talking about. It's like we still have no answers for John Jones and how good he can be as a heavyweight.
Exactly. Like where's his ceiling at?
Yeah, he won and it was impressive. And like in the moment, we were all like, "Oh my god, this guy is really the fucking guy." You know what I mean? He's really the fucking GOAT. Like the way he finished it. But now with that time has passed. And you hear him say he only really wants 2 fights. You know what I mean? Like he's very adamant about it. So it's not like he's trying to make a crazy run. You know, a fight's not signed now when he called Stipe out. Why is you're the champion? Why is the fight not done? You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of questions to that. So it's like maybe I don't know. It could be anything. You know, like we still don't know. And if we find again Stipe somebody who won't go down tapping that fast, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a war.
That's what I was thinking.
Unless John puts him out
to sleep
immediately, yeah, like if he puts him out immediately, it's gonna be a fight. You know what I mean? It's gonna last 1-2 rounds, and you're gonna see what John Jones can do at the heavyweight level and fighting the greatest heavyweight. You know, like that's a legacy fight, and it has to happen. But it kind of seems like one of them doesn't want it. And Anthony Smith, light heavyweight, and he does like commentary as well. He said he does like a podcast, and he said he went out to dinner with Stipe like recently. This was like a couple days ago. He's like, "Yo, I was just out with Stipe." He's like, "Bro, he looks jacked. Like he is getting ready for this fight." So if he's like coming in shape and like really like putting in the work for this fight, it might be John that doesn't want it. You know, like when you're trying to see the landscape of things. Now let's kind of transition though to a video that surfaced. Rob was like TMZ breaking news in the Blackout chat. Like, yo, keep this. But it was John Jones walking up. And it was at PFL, which I thought was weird. And John Jones had mad PFL gear.
He had a PFL shirt on.
And a shirt. I was like, that was an interesting thing because you're the UFC heavyweight champion. But anyways, John Jones walks up to Ngannou at PFL. It's cordial. They're shaking hands. It's respectful little banter. And then at the end, John hits him with the "You don't want no smoke," and I thought I was like,
"Don't want no." Yeah, I thought that was so hard.
I thought it was hard, but also he looked a little lit. I ain't gonna lie, like the way he said it, he had like that like drunken confidence, like yeah, that you don't want nothing.
Nah, but Ngannou, that's a big motherfucker. If you walking up to you talking like you don't want no smoke, that's a big motherfucker.
I mean, John Jones.
Dude. He's not small.
I feel like we should talk about his physique, though. His physique has changed since the fight. He doesn't seem as big as he was during the fight, but his arms.
That could be a light heavyweight. How much heavier is he gonna be?
He said he was dropping weight. He said he wants to be the same weight, but a smaller size and more like jacked, more ripped. Yeah.
Which he's been before. Maybe he's just taken so much time off that he has to do more of a cut. You know what I'm saying, to get back in a more defined shape.
I feel like that could be a reason the fight's getting pushed back. Like I think maybe both of them are trying to be in the best physique possible because they know for one of them it could be their last fight.
It's not like he's getting smaller. Like he has a gut because that was one thing Ngannou was like making fun of him. He's like, look at that, like you got a little gut, but it was poking. Like you know what I mean? Like this nigga just had like a full course meal and a couple of drinks. I'm telling you, he was lit. He walked up like, you don't want no smoke. And Ngannou was like, what is this American talking about? But I really found it, the most interesting thing to me was he had the PFL gear on. I was like, why, like, is that allowed? because UFC is very strict on like shit like that. Very strict. They don't even let these fighters wear their own shit.
Jake Paul has been trying to advocate because I don't know if you know, but Jake Paul is like one of the owners of PFL now, I
Oh
believe.
yeah.
And he's been trying to advocate for a cross card, so it'll be PFL versus UFC to get that fight as the main event. And I personally
only way
agree
they'll
with it
fight.
because PFL is paying. If you're in a championship fight and you win, you're making $1 million, but so is the loser. So you'll get the bigger for the fight of the night and certain other bonuses for winning. But like bottom line, both dudes are getting minimum of no less $1 million walking out that fight.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of crazy because UFC is such a bigger company.
That's the thing. If the UFC does it, they take the L harder than if PFL took the L, because you're supposed to be the premier organization in mixed martial arts. Your heavyweight champion is supposed to be the baddest man on the planet, right? Like
all your fighters supposed to be the best of the
best. I mean, they do have, now let's not get it twisted. They do have their fucking, they have in every division, they have the cream of the crop fighters. They have the best fighters for sure. But there's definitely people in other organizations that can compete at that level and, and beat people in the UFC. It can happen. It's fighting, right? So it's kind of a bigger risk for the UFC to actually pursue that. And I don't know if they will, to be honest. Like, it's one thing to do boxing and it's one thing to bring somebody over into the UFC, right? Like, if they do the cross promotion and there's only 20 months, my boy. 3 months straight though. Roman 2 Raw with the subscription. And you got the fucking, oh my god, the Will Smith and Carlton dancing on stream. Hilarious. Yes, but if you bring like Ngannou, if it's still cross promotion, I don't know. It's tough because you can't really bring Ngannou back on a cross promotion thing and only like references as UFC. You know what I mean? Everybody knows he's not there. So I don't know. I personally don't see that happening, but if it does,
if I'm PFL, I'm only letting them go for a bag. I'm letting them go for a bag. Like if I'm PFL, I'm like, this is the biggest event, but y'all have to market PFL. That's the only way it's going to work is if PFL gets some sort of, you know what I'm saying, say how in that.
Now,
but I feel like if I'm PFL, I'm letting them go and letting them take that fight, but you're going to pay my fighter.
Yeah. But now, the interesting thing I just thought about, it would be dope if they did do it, because now if you bring, I mean, I said this to Gabe the other day, but or either Gabe or Bird, but it's just one of those like old white people sayings. But like, a rising tide lifts all boats. But like, if PFL were to, like, if Ngannou were to win and representing PFL against the UFC, that increases the stock of the PFL, and that just gives us another organization to kind of keep our eye on as mixed martial arts fans, right? Like, we're gonna be like, even though people do watch the PFL like that, if you're really into MMA, you're watching a little bit of all, Bellator, all that shit. At least I am. Like, I'm keeping up with certain fighters, and again, it's only the fighters that I know will probably go to the UFC. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh shit, like, you're gonna get signed by the UFC in the future because you're that good and you're watching all these people. But now, if you can rise, if PFL can have a good showing and like kind of attract a little bit better fighters and stuff, that would just give us another, as an MMA fan, that gives us another lane to watch, and it's like it's kind of better, you know what I mean? It makes it a little more interesting. We're not always going to a UFC fight. It's like, damn, like tonight's a UFC fight that's like Strickland Nurmagomedov, but fucking PFL got Ngannou right now. Like, which fight am I really gonna pay attention to? So, I don't know. I want to see Jones back in there because I really want these questions answered. I want to see Jones versus Ngannou because that was the whole enticing thing when Jones was moving up and Ngannou was champion. I don't know. I don't know about the John Jones thing though.
I just hope it doesn't go up in smoke. Honestly,
yeah,
it can't.
I hope he doesn't do like cocaine and like,
it's dampering. Yeah, I hope he doesn't fuck it up. But at the same time, I feel like it's putting like a downplay on his career at that point. At least his career as a heavyweight, because you can't be the greatest of all time and you've only won one fight for a vacant belt.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like I feel like there's got to be more. There's got to be some substance in there. We've got to see, is he still that dog? These questions have to be answered before he closes that curtain.
Yeah. And I mean, if he really went on like, because obviously he's almost 40 or is 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's got to be some level of maturity in him. And if he really is worried about legacy, like, you're not fighting for money at this point. You're John Jones. You can make money. You can find a way to make money. You're not fighting for money, but you're fighting for legacy. At least that's how I'm perceiving it. It's like you gotta do, like Rob said, you gotta do a little bit more, but you also have a chance to correct some of your mistakes from your younger self. Because if they see you as an evolved version, you know what I mean, and you really come out as an evolved version of John Jones in terms of like maturity, not getting in trouble, not doing any steroids. Like, he probably did steroids to get this big, but like,
he's
I mean?
the
Like,
original John Morant of the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, on some shit.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean, he's done some dumb shit, but it's not that you can't forgive him, and people have, but I'm talking about, like, if he goes on a run and does it the right way, doesn't get in trouble, doesn't do anything, it kind of fixes a lot of his legacy issues that stop people from trying to, those blemishes stop people from unanimously saying he's the greatest in mixed martial arts. Those fuck ups give Habib a chance to be a greatest of all time. Like, truly. Because if people overall just like John Jones and he didn't do any fucked up shit, if he had like a Dustin Poirier type of career, nobody's gonna say he's the greatest. That guy right there is the great. You know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna even question it. So I don't know. But let's transition into another UFC bad boy, Conor McGregor. Do you guys hear what happened the night? We talked about it on the late night with AD and Jay Birdie every Monday. Check that out. Releases on Tuesday. Got to promo my other shows. A promo guy over here. But we talked about him punching the mascot in Game 4 in Miami last week. And it turns out that same night, there was some very, I don't want to say the word because we're going to put it on YouTube, but there's some allegations. Yep, accusations, allegations against him. And they were described to be violent allegations in a men's bathroom. And there's a video of him. It sounds weird when you say it like that. In a men's bathroom. But it also, there was a video that surfaced, and it was him with the female walking into said bathroom. So, and this surfaced after I seen the allegation, and then TMZ, of course, messy ass posted that shit.
A shade room all over it, like flies on shit.
Literally, they were like, "Oh shit!" Like, so my take on it is, if it's true, obviously, not good. You know what I mean? Very bad. We're not. They're probably gonna take it. They're probably gonna take tough. Honestly, if it's true, they're taking Tough off the air. I would think, right? Like,
proper 12.
Proper 12. I mean, I'm just talking about UFC like implications, because he's supposed to fight Chandler, which is supposed to be a huge fight, and I'm fucking excited for. You got the Ultimate Fighter, who's only episode 3 in, and they usually do 10 to 15 episodes for a show like that. So you got to cut that out. He's not gonna fight again. I mean, he's already old. This shit's gonna, you know what I mean? Like, his career's done. If this shit's true, his career, it's done. Like, there's no way
100%.
he's fighting again, right? Like,
100%.
he might fight boxing in fucking 10 years when he, like, like how Tyson did type shit. But, like,
gonna fight the UFC prison league.
Yeah, like, that nigga's gone. No, I mean, truthfully, like, his career's done. If it is
he
true.
Definitely gonna be in prison, fucking, and just boxers fighting everybody.
My take
on
out
there boxing R. Kelly.
Celebrity boxing match.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my god, that's nuts, bro. Fucking, it'll be like The Zone will pick that shit up. Fucking no, but my take on it is, it's kind of weird, like how they were describing it, because it was, every article I seen was like violent, like they put it like in quotes and like made it like very known. And obviously that day, what happened? He punched the mascot, and everybody's like, "Yo, he did it. He took it too far." You know what I mean? So, like, now if he did take it too far, and that's just how that's the type of time he was on
But
that night.
that's a double whammy of bad media.
Yeah, but it's just the violent aspect, right? So it makes it seem like it's even more true than, it's like you're automatic. Like people know him for being at that game, being already a little bit extra violence. It's like, oh yeah, he did that shit. You know what I mean? It's almost like an attack. And now again, if it's true, he's fucked up. But I want it because we've seen. I mean, I just heard of
I feel it.
Go ahead.
This is just my opinion. I kind of, when it came across my phone screen, I thought it was just fake news. Not like fake news, but like maybe like a fan or some shit like that, lied on him or whatever. But then when I started seeing the videos surface of them like outside the bathroom, like just standing around or something like that, I don't know what all went into it, but
yeah.
Like you said, if this is true and he gets slammed for this, very bad for the ending of your career. Like you might be working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Because all that money and right now he's, even prior to this, he's in a pretty good spot for his career. You know what I'm saying? Like not really fighting that often. You know what I'm saying? But now he's kind of being shown more on TV with like little commercials and, Proper 12, the other little shit that he does like in the UFC or whatever. But no, definitely, like you said, that'd be like the nail in the coffin in his career.
No, I mean, 100%. Even now, like, I just thought about this while you were talking, though. Like, it's probably gonna stop the fight anyways, right? Like, think about Jonathan Majors, his allegations. They're talking about recasting him recasting him as Kang, and there's movies in production that he's in. So these things will stop shit like that. So again, we'll know how serious it is and how true it is by the UFC's actions, right? Like the UFC keeps putting the show out. They keep talking, there's still chatter about the fight gonna happen. They might announce the fight off of this, to be honest. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this will be his last chance to get a bag if he has to go to court and deal with this shit, So, like I said, there was a story that happened recently where a girl told, she was married, by the way. She told her brothers that not her husband, her boyfriend, that some dude she was cheating on her husband with, was like fucking beating her or some shit. But she was lying, and she was just mad at the dude. And the dude was the boyfriend was an ex NFL player. Anyways, she sends her brother, like her two brothers, to go, and this guy, the boyfriend, actually smokes the two dudes, like in self defense, and he was about to get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like obviously, because he just killed two people. But then the story comes out like it was the girl that sent them. You know what I mean? And like, in the message was like, yo, go spray his house up and shit. You know what I mean? Like literally like sent the hit out. And it, at first it's like one of those things where like a woman's getting abused and like, oh, he deserved that shit, But then it turns out she's lying. So like it could be one of those situations because again, to me it was really weird how they kept using the violent term and like it was in quotations. Like, you know what I mean? Like they were like trying to like push that narrative of like, yeah, he was fucking up that whole night, So
of course, because at the end of the day, they still have to push that. They have to push it to get viewers. They need their own keepsake of viewers that tune in to the bullshit that they like to post.
Yeah.
Because like I see it like even on Snapchat so often, like the minute something happens, like for example, there's this little basketball player, Mikey Williams. He's like college level now. He was in high school. There was issues with him having a gun or something like that. And everybody blew him up. Oh, he tries to be a gang member. He tried to do this. He tried to do that. When once the issue got resolved, it turned out it wasn't even him.
Yeah.
Then everybody looks bad because all these media posters tried to slander him. And that type of stuff, it just happens way too often.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see it in like hip hop media, like there's times where they attack like a co-host of a podcast or a radio station. And it's like they'll like one thing happens and then you'll see another thing happen like right after, and it's like, oh, that's because of you saw like a little weakness, you know what I mean? So you guys want to put this out there now. Like it'll be like some old tweets. It'll be like something happens where he says something controversial on a podcast, people are at him, and then an old tweet comes out, and it's like, oh, but you said this 6 years ago. Like, you should pay for this. You know, like, it seemed to me, again, if it's true, I'm sorry, it's bad. But it also just seemed very calculated in how the Conor McGregor shit. Plus, he's on TV, like Abe's point, like, he's everywhere right now. So why
In
not
Miami.
try to strike him? You know, why try to not strike him down and shit? Plus, he's already known for doing shit like that. His past has shown he does like throw fucking dollies at buses, and he is kind of a little bit of a wild boy. So, like, you know, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because
it could have been one. It could have been one of those nights for Connor. You know what I mean? He got way too lit at the venue. You know what I'm saying? And on his way out, you know, he got a little feisty.
And then he says shit like, you'll fight where I tell you. You'll do nothing, you fool. You know what I mean? Like, he says things like that. Like, imagine in that situation, you'll do nothing. Oh my God. He just got violent in here. Oh man. But yeah, as a fan of Connor, it's disappointing. And
what are we looking at on time?
we're
No,
at
you gotta-
56 minutes anyways.
Yes, sir. So we'll just do a little speed recap of
ahead.
I want to get to NFL coming up. Jojo just came through earlier and was telling me about some of the picks they have for this year's playoff. And all bias aside, and I say all bias aside, say it one more time, all bias aside.
You can't say that with
They
the
did-
flag
they-
behind your head.
All bias aside. The Cowboys were not mentioned, and all bias aside, I feel like they really should be in that talk because we're starting to get a stacked team right now. Like, it's not, I want to say, a lot of the most top tier in the league. We have a couple that are best in their position. But we're starting to get a nice team going. Also the Jets, because now you got A-Rod over there, and then you got Randall Cobb. Like, the Jets traded 8 players off the Packers. You got Tom Brady retired, so that's one less team you got to worry about. You got the Bills. The Bills were a favorite last year, and they almost went the distance. Chiefs, there's just a lot of they're talking about Dalvin Cook. He's a running back for the Vikings, being traded. But it's that time of year that, you know, it's like that in between preseason and post draft and all that it's kind of plateaued a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The news is kind of more dead, but it's about to get popping real soon.
I mean, what? Dragon Queen says, sounds pretty biased. No bias aside. No, but damn, I lost my train of thought though. What was the last thing you just said?
No, about how everything's kind of like dead right now or whatever.
And there's that's what I was gonna say. There's only what, 2 months until it starts? About
more like a month and a half.
okay, and then they do like
Preseason starts usually like early August.
okay, and the preseason like a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, it's like maybe 3 weeks. I want to say at most.
Well, is the preseason like spring training where they kind of let like lesser players play a little bit more and let their stars just like warm up and shit?
Yes.
Okay.
So usually like it depends on where they drafted.
What the fuck is that
But
noise?
like I'm sorry, it's the damn ice cream truck outside. I don't know what the fuck they doing out here, bro.
Man.
I told that nigga get off my block, never come back. But, you know what I'm saying? My hands are tied right now, but I'm gonna get with him. But but no, preseason like okay, that's what I was saying. So it depends on where they draft. Like if you're like a number 1 draft, probably not. You're kind of more solidified already. But if not, a lot of the new players, like either whether they came from the draft or, you know, they got signed from another team or something like that, they kind of put them in and see how they can play in a more game-like setting. Because preseason, it's super laid back. It's not too competitive, but there is a lot of players on it that are trying to make a spot.
Yeah.
on the regular roster, because then you also have people that go down to the practice squad. And this was until like maybe like a couple years ago, maybe like 2016, 2017, I started watching the Hard Knocks on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
And it really goes into all that background stuff of the summer and people that are trying to earn spots and stuff like that on the team. So the preseason, it's kind of like a 50-50. Like there's some things to watch in there, but you know, a lot of people don't watch it because it just doesn't count.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be fucking crazy.
Really, you can't tell like how good a team's or what the team ceiling is gonna be in preseason. That's kind of where my question was going right now, right?
Yes, and no, because you're kind of seeing where their depth chart's gonna be.
Okay.
People that say your starter gets hurt on a certain team. You know what I'm saying? The guy that's gonna come in for backup. You know what I'm saying? Guys that come in on different, because on different types of formations, you got different players that come out and they just do. Sometimes there's players that just play in that formation.
Yeah.
But a lot of big talent's coming, bro. A lot of big talent. Like, and just how everything's being mixed up right now. A lot of teams are putting together some squad. I mean, as much as I'd hate to admit it, but you know, the Dolphins been making moves. And they just got I forget who it is. I know he has to be at least a top 10 wide receiver, but to go play with Tyreek Hill and Tua is supposed to be coming back healthy after 2 concussions in one season. That man was fighting for his life last year. But
I hate to cut this short, brother.
All right.
I gotta be out this bitch.
I understand.
But
hey, Pre-llama show.
Episode 2, again, good conversation and stuff. Are we just gonna have Rob on this every week, dude? Is Rob the third?
It depends. We got a schedule with that guy because he's a busy man. I'm gonna say that.
He's a father. Happy Father's Day again to all.
I do try to stream at least 2 hours and 7 days a week.
At least 2 hours. That's a big grind.
That's a grind. Because that adds up in the end. But anyways, episode 2 of the Pre-llama show. Blackout AD, Roman 2 Raw, Ugly Boy Rob. Yo, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, because this will be on YouTube. Blackout GG on YouTube, and don't forget the late night with AD and Jay Birdie.
Hey, don't forget to tap into Rob's shit too. Ugly Boy Rob on Twitch.
I'll put it in the
YouTube, all that. Follow me on Twitter, R2R Blackout. You know what it is.
Yes, sir. We'll be back next week with it, and it'll be an actual Pre-llama show where we'll game after and do our thing. I don't know if you guys peeped, but at the end of the episode, I had some gameplay. It wasn't great gameplay, but it was definitely some gameplay.
It wasn't great at all.
It was like some of the worst gameplay we've had, but it was there, and I thought it was a cool
little
integration.
Salt Bay at the end of the fucking pod.
I didn't feel like what do you call it? Cutting it. But it was only like 20 minutes of gameplay. It wasn't even that long, so I was like, I'll let them see what the Pre-llama show really looks like. It's like literally we transition from the conversation to the games in that video. So it's like that's exactly what a Pre-llama show
Appreciate
is.
you, Dragon Queen. Great episode, guys. Keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We will. Some ADs in the chat. We got to get like a Pre-llama logo, emote, and then like a Jaybird one.
Oh, that'd be hard. And R2R. R2R emotes coming soon.
We gotta get you affiliated. Go check them out. We'll be streaming more though. Later, boys.
Holla.